Come on, Saquon, welcome. What's up?
How you doing?
The grand opening
I can see.
of the Saquon Museum.
I can see. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah.
Philly's home to one of the greatest museums, and you guys, the Eagles, put together the work of an art of the season, and we decided that you had a lot of masterpieces in it, so I curated your own little museum here. That was the plan.
I appreciate that. I like the pictures you picked.
Another reason is because there's a quote you like to use a lot, and it's by an artist. He's a musician, though, but it's an artist. What's the quote from Michael Jackson?
Study the greats and become greater.
Yes.
Yep.
Who are the greats that you studied that helped inspire you this season?
There's so many, and I wouldn't just say this season, just my career in general, but gotta go Barry, Walter, Emmett, Curtis, even outside of football. Big Kobe fan, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. I just feel like there's a recipe for success, and there's guys that have done it at a high level. There's guys and women that have done it at a high level, so you can follow them and study them and try to put that into your life.
Yeah, sometimes I think too, like, artists can be inspired from struggles. Like, a lot of great art comes from that, and you've dealt with it. I mean, you've torn your ACL, you've had uncertainty before a season. What team are you going to play for? What parts of your story did you draw on to create the success that you had last season?
Kind of really went from just all the stuff that happened prior to building up to last year and just letting it all go. Really coming in with a new canvas, I should say, a new canvas, and just trusting everyone here in this building, this organization, and start fresh. And that's kind of was the mentality, and you got to do that every year, and that same mentality I'm having this year.
And who do you hope that your artistry inspires moving forward?
Kids. My kids all around the world, kids in Philly, kids in New York. That's the beautiful thing about playing football. You have a lot of eyes on you, especially when you do it at a high level, and I want to inspire kids to have the mentality that they can do whatever they want, they can accomplish anything you want, because that mentality was instilled in me by my parents, and I still play with that fire and that passion to this day. That's who I am as a competitor. I truly believe that, yes, I'm a successful football player, but if I chose to be a boxer, if I chose to be this or that outside of musician, because I really can't sing, that whatever I put my mind to, I could be super successful at it. So I want my game and the way I carry myself and how I play in the football field to inspire the youth.
So you won't be singing today?
No,
None of it.
No vocals from me at all.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the gallery. You want to do it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, come on. Now again, this was curated by me, but I want to get your honest opinion and let me know which one of these 6 masterpieces is your favorite.
I would have to say the one with my family.
Oh, tell me why.
That's the NFC Championship game. That's my favorite because of the ups and downs, and obviously it's Anna and my 2 children right there, but my mom, my dad, my brothers and sisters, and everyone were all there in that moment, and they were with me when I tore my knee, and they were with me doing the contract stuff, and never lost faith, and always made sure I kept faith and had my back. So it's like when you reach, that mountaintop, you want to have the people that truly care about you be next to you and on your side, and I had all those people right with me.
You've told a story before that Jada walked up and put a Band-Aid, was it on your knee brace when you tore your ACL?
Okay, all right, you can do okay, I'm not surprised,
But yeah, that helps me understand. Does she understand how important that moment was, or the Super Bowl, in comparison to or other things that you've been through throughout your career?
Yeah, and that's another reason why it makes it cool. Like SJ, he probably maybe not remember it, but Jada was definitely with me through those moments. And I remember when we first went to the playoffs in New York, and she was like, "We won, Daddy. Like, we're going to playoffs." And I was like, "Yes, we're going to the playoffs." She got to be with me through all that. So having that moment there with her, and then obviously 2 weeks later winning the Super Bowl and seeing her with her little eagle wings on her head makes those moments so much more special. And it's football, it's everything to me, obviously, but it makes it more special when you have your family part of those moments.
When did you guys start coming up with the pregame handshake?
We had that for a minute. We've been doing that since probably she was like 3 or 4 years old. There's some people that have clips of it when we did in New York. It really, I guess no one caught it on camera at that time. Now we got a little handshake. I got one with my son too, so it's my little pregame ritual, I guess.
It's really cute. It seems to work for you
before
the game, right? Don't change nothing.
Exactly.
Don't change nothing. Okay, my favorite. Can I show you my favorite?
Yeah.
It's got to be the 2K say
I
in
would
the
say
locker room.
that's my second one.
Yeah?
That's definitely my second favorite. There's only 9 backs that's ever rushed for 2,000 yards,
Sure.
with me being one. But I think if you ask every single one of those backs how were they able to accomplish that, and they always say the offensive line. So all those guys right there paved the way, made me look a lot better for me to achieve that, that goal and that milestone. So having that moment with them, and that game showed me how much pride they took in having a back rush for 2,000 yards. So it kind of all came full circle.
What was it that clued you into that, how important it was to them?
When we was on the sideline and we rushed for 2,000 and we still had a quarter left, and Landon and Jordan was trying to go back in the game to go get the record. That's when I was like, oh, okay, this means a little bit more than I thought. But obviously that didn't happen. But that moment showed me how much, they wanted that. And it wasn't just I wanted that, it was they. So like my name goes in to the stat sheets and Saquon Barkley, 2,000 yards, but there's a whole bunch of other guys that helped me accomplish that.
Do you have to change your mindset, or what adjustments have to be made when you're running behind an offensive line like that when you show up on the scene?
You gotta be right. You gotta make sure you're on your P's and Q's, because there's gonna be, at some point in the game, they'll give you an opportunity to break a long one. So you wanna make sure that your details is right, your footwork is right, your shoulders are square, you're putting yourself in the right position to make the play work at a high level. But yeah, these, they don't get enough credit. I don't think I know they're the best offensive line in football, and I'm excited to run behind them again.
You mentioned that at one point during last season that Landon and Lane went up to coach and said, we want to lean a little bit more into the run game. Take me back to that moment and then what that meant to you for them to even want to say that for you.
Yeah, you hear that after the way we started season 2-2. And then for me, it puts a little pressure on you, but it's a good pressure. It's pressure that is put on you by your teammates because of the respect that they have for how they play and what they believe in you. So for me, it was a challenge that I was willing to accept, and we accepted as a unit. Since then, the numbers were really good.
Yeah, they speak for themselves, as one might say. Another masterpiece, first game of the season. I mean, you're in Brazil, brand new team, rushed for over 100 yards, 3 total touchdowns. What was your mentality going into that, and what were you thinking after putting on such a performance?
My mentality going into that game was, one, enjoy the moment. You're playing in another continent in front of new eyes. I'm all about growing the game. So one, to capitalize that moment. There's going to be some people that have never seen football. So hopefully they walked away with, one, Philadelphia Eagles win and knowing who Saquon Barkley is. I didn't really expect to go out there and, kind of have that performance, but that really kind of catapulted me into the year that I had and just built the confidence that I had. And I knew what I was playing with when Jalen and AJ and Smitty and Dallas and the offensive line, but that's when it first hit me. I was like, oh, wow, like this could actually be a spectacular year. And it kind of started off from there.
I've heard you mention before that you felt like the Eagles believed in you more than you even believed in yourself when you first got there.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of when you go into, you test the market, and at that time, the running back market, you don't know what you're going to get, and you hear a lot of negative things, and you kind of have no faith in it. And then you see a team like the Eagles come and have so much faith in you, and it wasn't really so much of the dollar amount. It's what they expected me to do when I came here, that I could help be that missing piece. Yeah. And when you hear that, you're like, oh, okay, it wasn't like a hassle to pay me. It was like, oh, we're paying you because we think you're going to help us reach the milestone that we want. And that meant a lot to me. So it was just like, anytime you just have people that believe in you, it just instills ultra confidence in yourself and helped me go out there and play at the level I played.
Well, you mentioned it, almost the conversation surrounding running backs coming into last season versus where you've catapulted it to now. What does it mean to be a part of the running backs who are resetting the market for that position?
I always never look at it as the running backs as resetting the market. When you look at it in terms of the dollar amount, yes, that's true. But there's, whether you believe in running backs or you think you can get them in the first round, second round, third round, like one thing about football, you got to play great defense. You got to be able to run the football. Football's been going on for over 100 years, and that's not going to change. It's going to continue to be like that. You have to play defense. You have to be able to run the football. Even all these great quarterbacks that won multiple Super Bowls, when you look at their runs, defense played great, and they were able to move the ball on the ground. So it's going to happen. You're going to need a great back to get it done. And right now, watching Emmitt Smith and those boys talk on their documentary, and you see how important Troy Aikman is, and you see how important Michael Irvin and all those guys were. But a big part of that team was a guy like Emmitt Smith and that offensive line. So you get you some big boys up front that could block and a great back, your team's going to be in a good spot. Yeah.
And then you can have moments like that one right there. We should have actually protected the innocent a little bit more, like we could have cropped it higher, but One of our favorite moments. Did you know when you made the hurdle that it was going to be like this iconic moment that was going to live on in infamy?
No, because I took a big shot, to be honest, and I came out the game.
That's what you remember?
Yes. I remember that's probably one of my coolest plays, but probably one of the hardest hits I've took in my career. I remember the crowd reaction, but it wasn't till I got into the locker room. I mean, on the sideline, a lot of guys were coming up to me saying that's the coolest thing they've ever seen, the best play they've ever seen.
Did you see the replay on the Jumbotron?
No, I didn't.
You couldn't?
Yeah, I came out. I was like, hold on, boom. Like I got my back locked up, so I didn't even get to see it. So the first time I saw it was on my phone. And I did the media, and I was like, everyone's talking about it. I was like, let me go look at it, and I got to see the moment, and it was a cool moment. It was a great play, but that game to me was a big part in the year that I had. Not because of that play. I had a fumble that game, and a lot of people don't talk about that fumble. The same fumble I had a year prior when I was in New York against Green Bay on a primetime game, and I kind of in Green Bay, I tried to go down to save the clock, and the ball kind of just rolled out my hand, and Green Bay picked it up. Thank God for Tommy DeVito. We ended up having a 2-minute drive and winning that game, but I had the same type of fumble, and I just remember my mentality when I was in New York with that fumble happened versus my mentality when that happened in Jacksonville. Mind you, I just made one of the best plays of my life, and then later on I had a fumble, and just the confidence that was instilled in me by Coach Jamal, my running back coach, and everyone on the sideline. I remember when I had that fumble, I was like, oh no, I was panicking. And here it kind of was like everyone looked at me and was like, go make a play, and then came out and still had a great game. So that play and that game, means a lot to me for just showing the growth of me as a human being, as a person, and also going back to just the love I have for his organization, how much faith they had in me.
It's about evolution. Yep. That's what it sounds like we're hearing between those two plays. And then that ends up being the catapult that we need to get to the Madden cover.
Yep.
What did it mean to meet that milestone? I mean, everyone wants to be on the Madden cover.
It still shocks me to this day when I see people post it on social media, or I got to actually see the hard copy. It's if you're a little kid and you play football and your dream is to play in the NFL, we all think about that moment and having that time when you're on a Madden cover. So to be on the Madden cover is something that I will never forget, something no one could ever take away from me, something I'll be able to show my kids and their kids one day when I'm old. And
you're gonna be out there like, look, you young kids, get over here.
Back in my day, I was doing some special stuff. Being in Madden words really can't explain it. It's probably, I've been able to accomplish some pretty cool things, and that's up there for sure.
Who was on the Madden covers you were playing when you were in maybe high school, middle school? Do you remember any?
I played Madden for my whole life.
Okay.
So that's why being in that fraternity and having my name attached to those guys, and the Michael Vicks, the Ray Lewis, the McNabbs, Odell, Tom Brady, all those guys, to Sean Alexander. I'm trying to think of other running backs, Marshall Faulk.
But are you any good though?
I'm okay, but I'm I think I'm at the point in my life where I shouldn't be good at video games.
Okay.
I'm grown.
We're there now.
You feel me? I'm grown with kids.
Not
I should
quite
be able to,
unk, but
exactly. I should be able to play video games well. I'll be able to beat some of my boys, but I don't get paid to play video. I'm not online streaming, so to all you guys are streaming, make your paper. But for me, I shouldn't be good at video games. I should be decent. That's it.
The other one I definitely have to get to, Super Bowl champs. You finally been able to hold up that newspaper. You been to a Super Bowl until you played in this one?
No.
Not even attended?
It was something that I made up in my mind. I've been fortunate enough to be a nominee for Walter Payton Man of the Year twice, and you have to go to that game, and I decided to skip out on that moment because I wanted my first time to be in that game is when I play in it. I remember having a conversation with Bill Belichick when the Super Bowl was in Miami, and I said that. He was like, you probably should go because if you expect to be in that game one day, you should understand the magnitude of the game. So that's the only time where I thought about it. Okay, maybe I should go, but that was my first time ever being in the actual Super Bowl.
And what did it feel like? I mean, that whole week, the lead up, everything. Describe it.
I think if you ask anybody, the lead up to the week is kind of played out, but it's part of the job. You got to do it. Like I said, I'm all about growing the game and the brand of the game and even your brand. But going out there, it kind of didn't feel real because at one point, we were up a lot and didn't even know the score of the game at halftime. I remember going to halftime, and the whole theme of the week was, staying focused, staying locked in, never getting too high, never getting too low. And I think we really all truly bought into that when we got into halftime, a lot of us didn't even know what the score was. We just know we were in a good spot. But then we had a moment where we looked up, it was about like 40-6, and we all like kind of like smiled and said, I think we can, we can try a little bit now. I was able to accomplish that. But you dream about those moments as a little kid, playing the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl. And I just love how the whole year played out. We started off 2-2, and everyone was saying this and then a third. Then we all came with the mindset of knowing that, our motto last year is you can't be great without the greatness of others. And we have a team that's as talented as we are, and you embody that. The sky's the limit, and I think that showed.
And at what point do you wake up and realize, we got to go climb Everest again?
2 days later, a day later. That's the only thing that sucks about winning the Super Bowl. It's just like you have your moments, you have the parade, the ring ceremony, but maybe it might be different for a guy like BG, who it was like his last year.
Yeah.
But for guys who got to come back and try to do it again, you really don't have that much time. When we're old, we'll be able to reflect on it and talk about it. And it's cool to see that and come in here and see that. Just knowing you're part of that game and NFL history and Eagles history and on the right note. But you gotta go do it again, because no one cares about what happened the year prior. Everyone cares about what happens now.
Yeah, but you got the recipe. All you gotta do is cook.
I wish it. Yeah, you do got the recipe though. I am a big believer in that. Like, I guess I didn't realize how hard it is to win a Super Bowl until you actually win a Super Bowl. That's why it's super impressive what Tom Brady and those guys in New England did. Yeah, we definitely got the recipe. We know what it takes, but every year is going to be a different year. It may not look the same how it looked the year prior, but the main objective is to win football games. So whatever it takes for us to win football games and to get back to that game, we're going to do.
And then personally for you, I know you've heard this before, but you mentioned it, you're one of only 9 players to ever crack that 2,000-yard mark, but none of those players ever led the league in rushing the year after.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to just hearing that stat?
My reaction to that would be, I would go to that picture, that moment in that game, because I had a really good game against the Rams in the regular season, and I remember somebody put a stat out that all the guys who rushed for over 200-something yards in their next game when they have to play that same team, and it was like Barry and a couple of those guys, and I don't think anybody rushed for more than like 40 yards.
Right.
So like for me, it's study the greats, become greater, but I'm my own individual. Like, I know what happened in the past. I know what the stats say, but don't put stats on me.
Yeah.
Like, I believe in myself. I have a lot of confidence in myself. I have a lot of confidence in the team and offensive line. And if it's in God's plans, then it might be better. It might lead the league again. And the main thing is winning another Super Bowl. So however that looks, I'm willing to do.
That was one of my favorite plays.
That's my
you're
favorite
beating
play.
your helmet going down the block.
I like that play more than that play.
Really?
I'm kind of, that play's
You
kind
over
of
that
played
one?
out. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
kind of, yeah.
That was
That
one of my favorites.
That one is because right before that play, I was talking to my coach, Jamal, again, just kind of like growing a mentality and a mantra for myself, which I won't say here on TV, I'll keep to myself.
Yeah.
Talk to my therapist, talk to my coach, and that kind of was like the moment where like I let it show, and I shifted into that mentality. And right before that play, I remember talking to myself, and I remember Dallas telling me it's that time, and O-line looking at me, and everything kind of just aligned in the right moment, and boom, that happened. And that's why you see like my emotions showing, like me slapping my head.
I want you to name every single one too, because you're an artist, but just name the pictures.
First touchdown as an Eagle.
Okay.
2K say. The backwards leap. I don't know.
Backwards leap.
Super Bowl champ. La Familia. Is that how you say it?
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, La Familia.
And the Black Panther.
Ooh.
There we go.
All right, if I had a blank canvas over here as the last picture, you have your paintbrush, and you can put together any masterpiece for this season, what would it be for Saquon?
I don't quite know, but I do know that's the beauty of sports.
Yep.
And we get to start all over. So sadly, all these beautiful moments that you put together, you created for us.
Right.
You pack them up, and you put them in the basement for a little bit, and you start all over. But I do know where I'm at mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, in my faith, that wherever happens, I'm ready for it. And I'm a big believer in, God's got a plan, and Just go in, have the right mindset, put the work in, and let the rest happen.
Let the rest be history. We'll be right back here next year, maybe signing something, but I want you to sign whichever masterpiece is one of your favorites today.
Let's do it. I'm not going to sign my kids one. That's my favorite.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.